Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of NasCard Radio. This episode number 78. I'm your pal Val, and with me is the amazing Jason. Jason, how are you?
I am fantastic, Val. How are you?
I am almost that good. And then the man, the myth, the legend, Hall of Famer, Logan, King NASCAR, how are you?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
I'm doing good. This is NasCard Radio, where trading cards and racing meet. I'd like to thank our sponsor, Panini America. Off the bat, we got a good show today. We're going to discuss the brand new 2022 Donruss sell sheet was released. We had a Twitter question about the 2016 PRIZM Camo, so we're going to talk about 2016 PRIZM Racing. Was there one more?
We may fit some eBay in there. Who knows?
We're
also we're going to talk about I think a little bit about National Treasures as well.
Yes, National Treasures releases January 14th. So hopefully they keep that date and everybody get their National Treasures fix.
I plan on buying a box. What about you guys?
I don't know.
Never in my wildest dreams. It's just
that's gonna be my late Christmas present.
It's not my thing. It's too risky for me. It's just I'm a base card. I'd rather have a shot in the dark than a 50-50 gamble. It's just not my style.
Well, we're getting close to February, so we know Donruss should be releasing there. So I don't know. Maybe I'll take that money I earmarked for National Treasures and move it over to the Donruss stack there and get some Donruss. Because from the sell sheet, it looks good. The one surprise that I saw was the retro, because I was hoping for the 1989 design, because I remember opening those packs up and looking for those Ken Griffey Juniors and stuff.
Yeah, that was kind of my disappointment, and we've talked about it previously, and that was the first thing that I looked for. And I know we kind of talked about it a little bit off air, that they're using the 81 design for the retro, which I know some people like, but I would have preferred probably what you thought, to continue that continuity where they had done 87, 88, keep going, stick with the 89 this year. But, at least that retro design is still in there, so I'm happy about that overall.
Logan, what do you think about the design retro?
Well, I'm like you guys. I was kind of anticipating the 1989 retro design, but I'm good with the 1981 design because I remember collecting baseball cards back then, and I was so excited that we had somebody else other than Topps, and I remember buying boxes of those cards. So I have some vivid memories of opening up 1981 Donruss baseball. So this is a throwback to that, and I like it.
When I looked at the sell sheet and saw that, I guess it's that Kyle Busch relic, I like the white borders at the top and the bottom, and then they have that black bar kind of running through that middle, and those red borders with the Donruss logo and the 22. It looks good.
Yeah, I think they did a good job.
It looks like there's going to be some new short print, and they're going to remove some of the older ones, or I should say older ones. They're only one and done, more like.
Yeah, they're going to have this year. They're going to have blank slate, watercolors, Marvels, which is new, and Downtown. So those are going to be the ultra rare super short prints.
And now, I think Sketchworks is leaving then.
Yes.
The Timeless Treasures is correct me if I'm wrong, that is the same one from last year. That's the same insert title, correct?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
Because I like the design and I like that older feel because, again, we don't have too many sets that we can work with here. So I'm glad that they're keeping that one in. And you had mentioned already the Marvels. It amazes me how all these Panini brands are getting that cartoon-esque design for that case hit or those rare hits. Something I never really thought I would see, but it's kind of cool to see them continue over, into NASCAR with it.
Yeah, I like it. It's like what you say. It kind of reminds me of the what were the cards, Val, that we had a few years ago that was super short print? The skid marks. Was it skid marks? Not skid marks.
Slingshot.
That would be a great set, though.
Skid marks would be a great set.
Slingshots.
Slingshots. I knew it started with an S. I swear that's what happens when you get old, man. Yeah, the slingshots were kind of cartoony, but I liked those. You know, he had those 4 cards, and the one I liked the best was the Carl Edwards flipping. But yeah,
Yeah, it was Tony Stewart, Richard Petty, and Dale Earnhardt Jr., I believe, as well.
Carl Edwards, yeah.
That was, I think, was 2018. Like you said, that was like a one and done as well. You know, that's one thing about, you know, NASCAR, and they're trying Donruss, Panini's like trying to find their footing, what works, what doesn't work, and so, you know, we have Downtown again. This is going to be the 3rd year for them, so that seems like that's going to be sticking around. The watercolors will be 2nd year, and then the other one's 2nd year as well. So,
yeah, we haven't seen a checklist yet. I'm sure Haley Deegan's going to be in there somewhere. Maybe Ty freaking Gibbs. Who knows?
Yeah, that's true. And so, you know, on the sell sheet, they have the optic, and they have that, I guess it's the gold vinyl. It's going to be hobby only, and they have the Haley Deegan in there. So where the 81 design, where they had those black bars on the side, was just white, it looks like the whole, those bars are gone, and you have that red border around the photo, but then the rest of it is just kind of going to be plain. So it's nice. I think it's a good looking card. So,
what do you guys think about the rated rookies top 5?
And I wasn't sure about that, if that's going to be another parallel to the rated rookie, or if that top 5 is going to be how that parallel is going to work. But I always love the rated rookies.
I think there's going to be a lot of confusion, because I'm with you. I kind of think it's part of the base set, and maybe they're slimming down how many rated rookies are in there. But man, when you see it, it sure looks like a parallel. So I guess, you know, time will tell what it truly is. But man, it looks like a parallel. So I'm afraid there's going to be some confusion there. But I like the idea of it, because it is a cool looking card. It's simple, but simple but busy, if that makes sense.
It reminds me of like some of the 5th year anniversary cards that were in Donruss last year, where they've got these little circles, and you know, it's kind of its own logo, and then it's repeated across the card in the border. So
yeah, I like the way they look. You know, I'm like you guys. I'm wondering who they're going to put in there. I think what the one on the sell sheet is, was it Tyler Ankrum, I think, is who I saw.
Yep.
So, you know, could Ty freaking Gibbs be in there? That would be cool. I would love it if they put him in there.
Yeah, it would need more cowbell and more Ty freaking Gibbs.
Does it hurt that he's already had cards? Does that matter to you?
I don't know that it really matters. I mean, because he's been in the Truck Series and in ARCA.
Right.
So
he hasn't been in Truck.
And he dabbled in Xfinity this year and won races, but you know, he wasn't officially in that series. So this year he's going to officially be in that series. So, you know, because of that, they may make it a rated rookie. I don't know. And I don't know what their criteria is going to be either. Is it going to be just for Cup? Is it going to be for all series? I mean, who knows?
Right. That's that thing that's never really been explained. And I guess I was bringing it up to you guys because on a previous show we had talked, what do you consider the rookie? I think both of you said first card, you know, and when you're looking at this, it's obviously not going to be his first, but it could be rated rookie. There lies confusion, you know, but then racing cards are such a niche collection that, you know, maybe they have the right audience for that.
So Jason, I think you just hit it right there.
Okay.
So if you remember last year, I think Ty Gibbs had a optic, but
Correct.
He didn't have a Donruss.
But
yeah, that's a good point.
So this would be his first Donruss card. but it was optic.
Correct.
So they might have left this. So I think he's going to have a rated rookie.
I'm hoping so.
Because that's his first. That's going to be his first. We talk about his first card. It's his first Donruss card.
It would make sense. I mean, if they don't do it, I think it's going to be a travesty.
I think last year we did a show where there were cards that were in, rated rookie or rated or an optic that weren't vice versa. Because Natalie Decker comes to mind where she was in Donruss, but wasn't in optic.
Right.
And she could be in there too, as well.
She was rated rookie last year, but they've done that before too. So
go ahead. Sorry, I thought
no. Go ahead. You're good.
Well, it's a new thing. So I'm looking because you were talking about he's going to have Donruss cards. We're presuming he's going to have Donruss rated rookie cards. So I thought, there's going to be a bunch of color parallels, but the selling point it's the first bullet point on the sell sheet says racing into 2022 Donruss Racing features multiple base sets, inserts, and autograph checklists. It doesn't mention anything about parallels. And then if you look through the sell sheet, the only parallel really shown is the gold vinyl and the silver. I imagine, though, they're going to have other colors like all the other years, don't you think?
Yeah, between the Tyler Akram and the Tony Stewart, there's parallels are plentiful, falling one per hobby pack. Look for silver, red, and top 5 as well as others.
So does that mean that top 5 is then a parallel? That's what we were just talking about.
I think so. And this is in addition, there are optic cards for the entire base set, which also falls in each hobby pack. Rarities include the hobby-only gold vinyl. So optic cards for the entire base set. So that means 1 to 100, or is that 1 to 200?
I would think 200.
It says the base set for 2022 Donruss Racing NASCAR again offers 200 cards. So The other optic sets were 90 cards, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, do you consider the base set just the regular cards, not the retro cards, or do you consider the base set, the retro cards and the regular base cards?
I consider it number 1 to 200, whatever is in there.
That's what I would think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I said it more like 1 to 100, but then looking, it says the base set is 200 cards. And knowing what they've done the last few years with optic, so I think it was 19 or 20 where they started with optic.
Yeah, I thought it was I think it was 19 when they started with optic.
But they're keeping the 1 autograph and 2 memorabilia cards per box, and then you get the inserts per pack. So you get 1 optic card and then 1 silver or numbered parallel in each pack.
So do you guys think that we're going to have on-card autos or stickers?
This is always sticker.
I would say stickers.
The only thing that wasn't, and I might be wrong, but the only thing I remember that wasn't were the buybacks.
Yeah, that was the only thing. Right?
Yeah. They had those on card, and they were, they had the crimp, the seal of the Panini seal, little 5-year seal.
So early indications, I think the Donruss is on track and looking good.
What do you guys expect the price to be? Because I know last year we kind of were all over the place at first, and then
so they came out around 74, 75 last year.
But then there were some points where it got to like 120, 130.
Yeah, it went once that 5th year autos were out, and it was right there in the beginning of some of the craziness where the prices escalated quickly on it. But I'm expecting to come out in the $75 range. We'll see.
Yeah, that's what I think. I'm thinking, somewhere maybe 80 to 85.
I'm gonna say like 85, 90, just because I think everything else has gotten that increase even at retail. So I don't think there's no wrong answer, but I think on the higher end of what you guys said.
So what is that? again, I haven't really bought much of the blasters, but this is going to be a new price point for blasters. So is now blasters 30?
God, let's hope not.
I can't see Donruss being 30.
I cannot see that either.
What's Donruss for the other sports? For blasters at retail?
Maybe 22.
Okay.
Which is reasonable.
Yeah, I'd probably pay maybe as much as 25, maybe. It depends on, I'm sure they're going to they'll have a hit. And I'm sure they won't be guaranteeing autographs. I'm sure there won't be an autograph in every box. So you're most likely going to get a memorabilia card. So, yeah, if it's more than $25, those things are definitely going to sit on the shelf. People are not going to buy them. Because I know I would not be buying them more than that. 25 would be stretching it for me, for those guys. But again, we'll see. And it's weird because Target and Walmart both had different price points on PRIZM.
I don't know. Since Tracy left, everything's Tracy's fault, or
yeah. Hey, Tracy, if you're out there, we're blaming you.
No, I don't know. I thought it was, and then I think it was. Well, I don't even know. Maybe it was regional or not, but prices were different here in North South Carolina than they were in Texas. So
yeah, didn't we hear reports of PRIZM being like $40?
Yeah.
My gosh, there's absolutely no way I would pay that for a box of PRIZM.
So I'm not sure what that's going to look like at retail, but they look good though. If you guys want to go or any more discussion on the Donruss.
No, I'm just looking forward to some new cards.
Yeah, hopefully they're still on time. Looking forward to racing and looking forward to some Donruss.
Yeah, I could see that Donruss getting skewed a little bit, due to National Treasures coming out so late.
Right.
And even if they do it by a week or two, that wouldn't disappoint me.
No, that falls right there into 500. So.
Yep.
Well, switching gears, we had Andrew Acklin hit us up on Twitter asking if we've covered the camo in the 2016 PRIZM. I don't think we really even talked about 2016 PRIZM, so I thought it'd be a good topic to bring up. It's hard to believe that it's been, 6 years since the 2016 PRIZM, and I remember that was at Atlantic City when those were released in the summer. Of course, that was our first taste of PRIZM, not having collected PRIZM in the other sports, so it was new to me back in summer of 2016.
Yeah, that was Panini's very first entry into NASCAR.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember us being at the National in Atlantic City and busting those boxes after the show in the hotel room, and we had an atomic bomb of cards and busted packs and wrappers and boxes all over the place in that room.
Yeah, I think the boxes were about $95 a box back then for hobby, and I thought we got multiple autos per box, but you got one autograph and 2 memorabilia cards, and that's when PRIZM had memorabilia cards. You got 10 PRIZMs. You got 1 green PRIZM numbered to 149, and then 2 additional colored PRIZMs to 99 or less. 2 winner circle, and then 1 winner circle PRIZM, 2 competitors, and 1 competitor PRIZM, and then 3 additional inserts. I'm looking at the old sell sheet for 2016 PRIZM Racing.
Yeah, one of the things I remember the most about busting those boxes in the hotel room was when I pulled. It was a Kurt Busch rainbow card, and man, I fell in love with those rainbows the first time I saw them. I had to try to get the whole set, and in fact, I'm still working on that whole set. They only made 24 of each one, and I still need 7 more. Even here it is, almost 6 years later.
And so that's a 100-card set. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, maybe one day I'll find it. I have that in my eBay saved searches.
And looking back with hindsight, It was their first release. That release had 9 different PRIZM Parallels, and then it says 8 are numbered to 149 or less. But that's in the hobby. That's why, because then that's including the silver. But we know that there's camo and the red, white, and blue.
Yeah, the red, white, and blue. I like those cards, and they're pretty plentiful. You can still find plenty of those on eBay because those came in the big fat packs. And I think you got 3 in a fat pack.
Okay, I didn't open a lot of those fat packs.
Oh man, I opened the fat packs, opened the blasters. I didn't open a ton of blasters, or I would have more of the camo cards. But I opened up a lot of fat packs. I think it's mainly because the Targets and Walmarts in our area, that's what they had. They didn't have a whole lot of the blasters.
And then there's, this is kind of like age, like fine wine, because we had it going along with 2016 PRIZM. They didn't produce PRIZM in 2017. They didn't really pick PRIZM back up until 2018. And then they reworked a little bit where camos were a 3-card exclusive to the blasters. There was a 3-card pack that had the camos and the blasters. And so they went from, numbered and ultra rare, because the camos are numbered to like the car number. So Jamie McMurray, 1 card. Card number 2, Brad Keselowski, 2 cards. Austin Dillon, number 3, 3 of them. So trying to make a camo parallel set is probably almost impossible. I guess it's like trying to go after the checkered flag or the black or whatever, the ones with or white flag. And then there's also the autographs, and then there's camo autographs. And I pulled one of those out of the blaster. Camos are super rare, and you don't see them much. And then really nobody really talks about them much. Actually, you don't see much talk about the 2016 PRIZM, but I think 2016 PRIZM is pretty good product. I don't know about trying to buy it now because it's all dried up, and I think we talked about the $799 hobby box out on one of the big 3, and then I did see one on eBay for $500.
Yeah, it's still out there. I went and looked today, and nobody's bid on that yet. But it's like you said, this stuff is really dried up. And remember last year when Target had their repacked blister packs, there were some of the 2016 PRIZM retail packs in those, and I think I was able to get 3 or 4 of those out of those blisters, and I did not open them. I just saved them.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, those are ones that I'm just going to keep.
Do they have retail on them, or do they have hobby on them? Can you tell?
No, they're retail.
Okay, so there are retail packs, there's fat packs, and then
I think the retail packs probably came out of the blasters.
That's what I was going to say. Okay. But again, that 2016, I think with some of everything that went on last year, people started looking at drivers or basketball players or whatever, their first PRIZM card. So the 2016 has everybody, your Richard Petty, and because there's a small subset at the end that has the NASCAR Hall of Fame logo and has, Bobby Allison and Ed Jarrett and David Pearson, which is just pretty cool. But then you also have Kyle Busch veterans and Harvick, Denny Hamlin. Then you have, the young guys, Chase Elliott, Bubba Wallace, Ryan Blaney. So it's plenty of awesome drivers to collect. And then, they try to get the silver and the blue or red or green parallels.
Yeah. And, I was thinking today, since this was 2016, and of course it was everybody's first PRIZM card. I'm doing that in air quotes. But I was thinking, are there any really true rookie cards in the 2016 PRIZM? I mean,
one.
I figured there had to be somebody, but I just could not think of who it would be.
First name is Eric.
It's who?
Eric Jones.
Eric Jones. That's his rookie card. Okay.
Is that Bella?
That is my dog downstairs barking at something. Yeah. Sorry, everybody. I have a barking dog. But
yeah,
so Eric Jones is the only true rookie out of that set.
I believe so, because William Byron doesn't have a prism. Christopher Bell doesn't have a prism. I don't think Tyler Rick has a prism either.
Yeah, I mean, and you've got Bubba Wallace in there, though. People kind of consider that one of his first cards when it really isn't. And Chase Elliott's the same way. That's really not. He's been on cards in press pass long before that.
Right. So the ones that I mentioned, William Byron, Tyler Reddick, and Christopher Bell, they have autographs in those sets, but in the prism, but I don't think they have any base. But I think Eric Jones is the only one that, because I was eyeing him. I don't think he was included. He was not included with 2015 press pass, and he came right along that time there between manufacturers, and then Panini produced that prism for him. So
yeah, but it's a great set. Like you said, hindsight's 2020. We had no idea what it would be like here 6 years from back then.
It's interesting to look at the 2016 prism to the 2021 prism, where we have 9 sets that are numbered, 2 unnumbered, the red, white, and blue, and the prism silver. And then in 2021, we have 10 sets that are numbered and 9 sets unnumbered. So you have 19 parallels versus 11.
Yep. I think everybody likes those shiny different colors. I mean, I do. I think it's cool when you get different colors.
Oh, definitely. To try to get, I mean, you can get like a whole page, 9-card page of the unnumbered in, all the different parallels. So I have not done that quest yet. I know I've got a few of the 2016 parallel sets. The harder ones I have not tried, but.
So let's get an opinion here, because we talk about 16 certified so often, and then Prism is, the baby to everybody's, that's their favorite brand. It seems like. Do you think 16 certified at the price it's at now, or 16 Prism at the price it's at now is a better buy?
Well,
let's say you were buying a hobby box.
Yeah, well, 2016 certified, I think I saw it's still on sale for about $60 a box.
Yeah, but we all know some things age better than others. That's why I'm asking. Would you invest it in Prism, or would you invest it in a few boxes of certified?
I still like certified, because wherein I mentioned William Byron, Christopher Bell, Tyler Reddick, Eric Jones, as well as probably about 5, 6 more, they do have base cards in 2016 certified, but not in Prism.
Yeah.
So, and then there are also parallels in certified. And I think the problem with certified, and I don't know why I always remember this, but it dropped so late in the year. The season was over. It was like November, December, and then National Treasures hit, I think it was early January. And I don't know why I always remember this, but that's when Carl Edwards just kind of called it quit abruptly. And then you had 2017 Donruss coming in February. And so there was a short window. And for whatever reason, I guess with 2 autos and 2 memorabilia or whatever it was, the certified never caught on. I mean, really, you don't hardly see it. There are, I think it's what Steel City, one of them has the inventory left, but that's about it. So, I mean, we're starting to see some of the PSA 10 prices for some of them creep up to 100, 150, I think it was for Byron. And so, as these guys race, win, I think this might be Tyler Reddick's year to break out. So we'll see.
Yeah. To answer your question, Jason, I like certified as far as from a price point and what you get. I'm gonna pick certified, because it's like what Val said. There's a lot of rookies in there. You get 2 autos. I mean, for $60, you really can't beat it. At least for now, as long as the supply lasts. I mean, once those dry up, then of course they may go up. That remains to be seen. But given the choice of spending some money, spending $500 on one PRIZM box, or I could buy 6 boxes, over 6 boxes of really about 7, almost 8 boxes of certified for the same price as the PRIZM. I might as well just go ahead and buy those. I'll get a lot more autos, a lot more enjoyment, a lot more rookies. I think that's the way to go.
Yeah, I agree with both of you. I was just curious because, PRIZM is definitely the darling right now for people grading and, setting cards aside to hold for a couple of years. But yeah, I definitely agree with the both of you.
I mean, I'd love to have PRIZM hobby box, but at $400, $500, $800 a box, I don't know. And we know NASCAR cards do not command the prices of the other sports. That
Right.
I don't know if there's anything in that box that you could recoup that money. Maybe the Chase Elliott 101 or William Byron 101, maybe. I don't know what else. You're only getting one auto and 2 memorabilia. So back then, it's not like the PRIZM now where you get 4 autos a box.
Yeah, and PRIZM memorabilia cards, no matter what sport, never seem to hold any value, let alone racing. It's color and autographs. It's not the relics for PRIZM, and, that's why they don't offer it anymore. So
I was actually eyeing some of those relics where if it's a sharp-looking relic, multicolor, or maybe a particular driver, that it might be worth picking up to have some of that, because I think they're going to age well as well. I don't know why, but
that's the only year, of course, and you said it a while ago, that they made PRIZM relics, and some of them look pretty cool. I mean, I think you basically have fire suits and you have tires, right? The tires are pretty bland. The fire suits, you could get a good hit on one of those. Just depends. But that is the only year they had those, so that is kind of an anomaly there. So
right.
I think that helps the PRIZM boxes.
Again, I hate that they have the checkered flags, but they're only 1 of 1s. I really wish. I know they threw the zebra in. I always say the zebra should be in the football, and the checkered flag should be in the NASCAR. I really wish. I don't know. Maybe it costs a lot more to do the checkered flag, but to move that up to a higher number than just the 101. But
Yeah, I'd much rather see checkered flag than zebra, but the zebras are pretty cool. I've watched a few breaks of this year's PRIZM, and those things are pretty rare. There's usually like 1, maybe 2 to a half case. So you're going to get 1 out of every 3 to 6 boxes. So it's pretty rare.
anything else we haven't touched on with 2016 PRIZM? And I think I don't know if we've seen any eBay prices closing on 2016 PRIZM. You used to be able to see or find the silver sets out there and the red, white, and blue complete sets, but I think that's all dried up. I know I picked up like 2 silver sets. I guess it was early on in the craziness for like $30 a set. But and one thing I will say is I can't remember who it is on Twitter, but he's working on a autographed silver PRIZM set of 2016, which I think is fantastic. I'm gonna have to try to work on that one.
Yeah, I think everybody's still alive, right?
David Pearson has passed.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about David Pearson. So if you have a silver PRIZM of David Pearson signed now, that's a plus, because you're not going to get those anymore, unfortunately.
I need to send those out first for all the legends.
Yeah, I think the legends start at card number, was it 91 through 99?
Something like that.
Yeah.
But I think that silver shows the autograph better. And I'm assuming I need to pattern those. I'll have to check, but
I don't. I'm trying to remember. it's either the silver, the regular card, or the PRIZM card. One of those signs really well, and one of them does not. You can get you some commons and try it out, but I forget which one because I tried it. I think the PRIZM sign better than the regular base cards.
Okay.
But like I said, you probably need to try that out because I think what I had done, I remember I think it was when we were going to the NASCAR Hall of Fame a couple of years ago. I had powdered one up just as a test, and the autograph was actually worse on the base card than it was on, without the powder. So, you can try it all the different ways, but I do remember powdering. I honestly cannot remember which one it was. I would almost have to think it was the base card. And I powdered the base card and it looked terrible. I just signed it with a Sharpie and it just streaked and looked horrible. And then I signed it without it and it looked a lot better.
Okay. I'll have to try that.
Yeah. Just try and see, because you may not have to powder them up.
Now, one thing I was looking at the sell sheet that they had that they discontinued, not only the race used tire checkered flag or prisms, but the winner circle prism. And that was I think it was 30 something cars, basically your season in review. And then they also had a prism version that they don't do anymore. That was the 2015 recapping the 2015 season. So they don't do that anymore. Of course, 2016 is when they did that. At the end of the season, they did the Panini Instant. So still would like to plug that to see the 2022 Panini Instant come back.
Yeah, and something else we didn't talk about though on the 2022 Prism is they're going to have the Race Kings again, which on the sales sheet they look really nice. So I'm looking forward to those.
Yeah, they do a good job with those.
And I'm sure they'll have Race Queens as well. I'm sure you'll have Danica, Haley Deegan, maybe Natalie Decker. Who knows what all they're going to have.
Yep. And then also they've continued this, but the SP, the variations where they had the different variations of the cars, where they had Darrell Waltrip and Donnie Allison and those other drivers. So
yep,
I think that's it.
Yeah, I think so. I'm looking forward to it. We'll know more as we find out more about these cards and the checklist pops up. We'll talk more about it.
For Donruss, right? Correct.
Exactly, for the Donruss.
Yep. Anything else for the Prism? I think we covered all. Except the camo, I believe, were in retail and blasters. There's an autograph version of the camos, and then there are parallels, but those are that numbering is all over the place depending on up to the driver number. And I think it was card number 100, which is something everybody wants to have that's the one with the picture of all the chase drivers, but that's only numbered to, I think it is 18 in the camo. So that one's tough.
Yep.
All right, well, we can discuss any eBay and NASCAR news.
Yeah, I've got a few eBay auctions here that kind of caught my eye. Not a whole lot. In fact, I didn't even see any of the Color Blast cards at all that had finished this past week. So those things are starting to dry up. It looks like. I guess people are not busting as many boxes of 2021 Prism. But one of the things I did see was a Jeff Gordon 1987 World of Outlaws PSA 10, and Propstein had that card, and it went for $562.03 with 17 bids. So that was pretty big money right there for that card.
World of Outlaws 87 or 88? Which one? 87.
87.
Okay. For a PSA 10, that's I guess that's right in the range, but that's old pencil mustache Jeff Gordon.
Yeah, for sure. Something else I saw too. This was ended on the 28th of December, It was a 1992 grid Formula One Michael Schumacher rookie, PSA 10, $2,000, 11 bids.
Wow.
You know, I remember before all this craziness and hype and all the crazy things that have happened in the last year and a half, before all that started, you could buy one of those grid factory sets for like 20, 25 bucks all day long. They almost couldn't give them away. And now look at them. It's unbelievable what has happened with all this hype.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it really is. You know, when you're talking about 2021 PRIZM, there was and I found this one to be kind of crazy. 2021 PRIZM Racing Jesse Love Gold Vinyl Superfractor. They say Superfractor. I'm just going by the description. It says true one of one, which it is. It was a one of one. It went for $305 with 26 bids. Jesse Love.
Jesse Love collector.
Yeah, there's some Jesse Love collectors. They need some love, apparently.
Yep.
Something else I saw too this ended on the I guess it was 12. Yeah, it was on the 31st. A 2020 Topps Chrome Formula One card number 112. It was the Mercedes team logo. It was an orange wave card out of 25. That card went for $399.99.
Was that graded or no?
No, it's not graded.
Wow.
Just a team logo card. There wasn't any drivers or team members or anything. So there's some Mercedes collectors out there that paying
Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but still, it's just the Mercedes. You've seen it. It's the Mercedes team logo.
Yeah. I've seen that in the Honda Red Bull.
Yeah, that was amazing to me. I get it that there's only 25 of them, but it's just a team logo, for crying out loud.
Do you guys think this F1 stuff continues to climb, or do you think it plateaus? And
I love to see it continue, right? I don't want to be a doom and gloom.
Yeah, of course.
But I think the problem with the F1 is the problem that NASCAR's had. So I understand everybody going after the 2020 because, well, I guess, and it was released in 2020, right? So it's the first set, kind of everybody's first card, get all that. But the problem, I think, comes with the 2021 version, the release in, I guess, in 2022, is that now you have everybody's second card, and there's not enough new rookies to sustain the product. I mean, I've seen in NASCAR. So if you go back to the early or late 90s, there were a lot of years that there are either no rookies or the rookies never panned out. And Logan, I'm sure you verify that. Even in the early 2000s as well. So while I want to see the product do well, I don't know if there's enough new coming in to sustain the pricing. I don't know if you've looked at the pricing for the new versions. It's like, I think just the base is like $500 a box.
It almost reminds me of the 86 Fleer basketball where everybody's rookie was in that set, even though they had played for years. And then those couple years after still hold a premium value compared to, say, 90 Fleer, where it like dramatically drops off. It almost reminds me of this, and I'm kind of waiting to see, or almost reminds me of that, and I'm kind of waiting to see if it mirrors that. But then again, like you said, does it have enough star power more than the two big names?
So you have the star power, and then you have the current price, which is really an inflated price compared to, because I think the boxes were $100, or what does a base Topps box cost? I expect F1 base to be around the same price as a box of baseball cards.
Right. The same way Donruss is for everything else. Yeah.
Right. Not $500. So we're talking about a 5-time multiplier or a 3-time multiplier because they're trying or keeping into the hype. But I don't know if it's got legs to command that price. Maybe it's the autos in there. I don't know. But again, that's my concern, is that there's not enough new rookies when you're talking about that basketball, right? So 86 super hot because it was limited. 87 to me is limited. I saw 86. I
Yeah.
never saw 87. And then 88, there were a few rookies in there, right? Was it Reggie Miller and then you get 89 as Rodman and Reggie Miller and Bulls. Why am I drawing a blank? Not Jordan, but Scottie Pippen. So you had some of those years, and then you get into the mass production and then the late 90s or early 90s, and it's not worth that much. So where I'd like to see the F1 do great because I think it helps NASCAR as well, but I don't know if it's got the rookies to sustain it. So
now we talked before about not knowing how long the Panini NASCAR contract is. Do we have any idea what the Topps F1 length is for their contract?
I do not.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
I would assume it's 5 years, maybe.
That's what I was going to guess. 5 years sound like a good number.
Yeah, but I'm like you, Val. I just don't see. You've only really got two people carrying that product right now, two drivers. You've got Verstappen and you've got Lewis Hamilton.
Right, and I'm going to defend that by the reason you say that is because they won 19 of the 22 races.
Yeah. I mean, just like in NASCAR, there's fans of all drivers, but by far those two guys are the ones carrying the product right now. And next year won't be their rookie cards anymore, even though this year wasn't really their rookie cards either.
But I mean, there's only so much like, yay, my guy came in 5th. Every week, at least in NASCAR, I mean, a lot of the guys, there's a shot to win. I don't know if everybody's got a shot to win that race.
Well, you've got the team order thing too. Remember that.
That's true too. So, but I didn't want to derail this conversation. So yeah, what you were saying about,
I just can't see the prices being like they are this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I just don't see it. I mean, I may be wrong. I may be like our weathermen here. I may be wrong, but I just don't see it happening. It's like what you said. It's the same thing with NASCAR. You don't have enough, rookies coming in making a big splash every year like you do in the stick and ball sports. We just don't have that.
And I don't know that we've ever talked about this before. I feel like Panini is better suited for F1 because they have a stronger hold on international market, where Topps would be better suited for NASCAR because they have a stronger hold on the domestic market because they have the baseball tradition and they have all that. It almost seems like it's backwards to me, and I don't see Topps maintaining their strength or gaining any ground on F1. It's almost like they're going to tie this to these two guys, and it's like tee it high and let it fly and just see what happens.
So let me tell you about the pre-order prices, okay? So see if you can follow this one. So the 2021 Topps Dynasty Formula One racing hobby box, that's super high end,
right?
$2,500 a box. Okay, so now we'll go to the Chrome. The Topps Chrome Formula One racing hobby box, $600 a box. That same box in 2020 Chrome is basically $2,200 a box. Okay, so $2,200 a box. This year is going to be $600 a box. Okay, now this year they're throwing in just Topps Formula One racing hobby box. So this is not the Chrome, so this is going to be the first year for it. Just one box, $630 a box. And then they're going to have this light box for Chrome, which is going to be $300 a box for the light version. So, I think it's a 200 card set. I just think it's very expensive, and maybe that's what the F1 collectors are used to, and maybe that's what they want. But as a NASCAR guy, it seems like there's a lot of those are too high.
Right. Yeah, I would agree.
For what you're getting.
Yeah, I just don't see this as being a sustainable market going forward. And I think, Topps is going to try to do like they've done with everything else. They're going to try to maximize their licensing by, I won't say flooding the market, but they're going to produce a lot of sets. And well, hell, they're probably going to flood the market. Let's just be honest. I mean, I don't know any other way to say it. So even with that being said, I think there's going to be a glut in the market. I think you're going to see prices go down. That's the way I see it.
Yeah.
Well, I think, Jason, you tell me what you think.
Yep.
I think the model has shifted now. Now the model is price everything high. You can always come down. I can't, if I sell out of everything, then I'm done. I can't get any more inventory. So was it Kirk's Cards or whoever it was, back in the day, he prices
Right.
this stuff high. You want to buy it, hey, great. But
if you don't, somebody else will. Yeah.
yeah. So, if they just blow it out, it's all gone. And, so maybe that's the idea.
I mean, I think we're starting to see that. We talked earlier about what we expected the Donruss Blaster price to be. I mean, we're seeing it right now in Target and Walmart, and there are some that, prices got raised and nobody gave a damn and they bought it. But then there's other things, and I can, Chronicles Collegiate Basketball, those blasters are everywhere, at least in my area. And it's like, okay, well, that one didn't work, and a couple other ones I know people have said, oh, I'm going to wait and I'm going to wait for this, so it's working for some and not for others, which is kind of just how it goes. But I agree with you. And I think we've already started to see it with all the manufacturers.
Well, Jason, you weren't here last week, but we talked about the PSA 10 Tops Now card of Lewis Hamilton. And there was one that went for like $1,500. And back during the summer, that was a $5,000 card.
Yeah, that's a big drop. That's
a huge drop. And I think you're going to keep seeing that, especially with this, the second year of Formula One. I don't think you're going to see near the prices. I mean, sure, the 101s and the really short print cards are still going to command high prices like any other sport. But, I can't see a Lewis Hamilton base card going for the same amount of money, in next year's printing compared to this year. There's just no way.
Right. Let me give you guys a stat real quick. So as we're talking about Dynasty F1. I actually went to eBay, which is what I typically do. I typed in F1 Dynasty Tops and I searched in all categories so that nothing was left out. There are only 78 results for F1 Dynasty Tops sold listings. So in however far back eBay goes for sold listings, 3 months, 6 months, whatever it is, there are only 78 sold items. To me, that doesn't sound like a good number. And granted, it's Dynasty, it's high end. Some of these cards are $2,000-$3,000. But if you would do the opposite search for National Treasures, which is not as high end, but it's still up there, there's a lot more to go and pick from. And that kind of tells me that, Dynasty is up there. Yes, we get that. But being that it's F1, there is a very limited collector base. And once you get past these two drivers, there are a couple there that are being purchased. But how long is that sustainable?
I agree. I mean, when you look at like checking my cards, if you go to check my cards and look at like Sapphire and some of the other stuff, and you look at the quantities that are listed for the drivers, right? The Lewis Hamilton and
Right.
Max Verstappen are low to none, but then you might have 20, 30 of these other cards. And so basically I'm saying that they're not moving, right?
Right.
They're accumulating on there. So we'll see. Hopefully I'm wrong. I don't wish any ill will on, any of the collectors. And I, just want to make sure everybody, for the long-term sustainability of the hobby, we want people to collect, trade, flip, whatever, and not get burned and where they leave the hobby, right? So we want people to stay in the hobby and enjoy it for the long haul and not to come in and do cash grab and be gone, right? So.
Right. It also sounds like, the numbers that you gave or the example that you gave for ComC, it also sounds like, yes, those guys are being purchased and those others aren't, but people aren't purchasing and relisting. They're purchasing and holding, because if there's not a lot for sale, then they're not being flipped like what most ComC guys or people do. So that sounds like there's a lot of holding going on for F1. I could be completely wrong, but that's kind of what I'm gathering from what you said.
Well, Jason, do you think people are holding because they've paid these really high prices and prices are going down? Or you think they're holding, hoping that things are going to go way back up? I mean, yeah, I think what's happened is a lot of people are probably holding because the prices have come down, and they just don't, they paid a higher price, and they just don't want to lose money. I mean,
yeah, very well could be. That's a tough one because it's very situational. But yeah, I would think you're more right than wrong on that.
Yeah, because I mean, you got to look back. Back during the summer, what these things were going for. I mean, it was just a feeding frenzy on the prices. I couldn't believe it, and I still really can't believe some of these prices that we've seen over the last 6-7 months.
And I think that number 3 has a print run of under 2,000. I think it is.
Yeah, and I see them out there. They're on eBay every day right now. Every day.
Do you think people were just so excited? I know we're like so far off on a tangent on F1 now, but like, do you think people were just so excited to finally have something to grab, like tangible for F1 as far as trading cards go? Do you think it was like a mad dash and then now it's kind of not the shiny new penny anymore?
I think that's part of it. Because I remember when the Topps Now came out with the Lewis Hamilton, and I've already said this before. I saw that and I'm like, I just kind of scoffed at it, really, honestly.
Same, exactly the same.
It's like, big deal. What's the big deal about it? And then all of a sudden, that thing just went, off the planet. I'm
what's it sell for now, ungraded? Do you know?
I really don't know, but I think it's going to be in the $600-700 range, probably.
Yeah, I was going to say 500. I think. While you're looking at that, I was going to say the Topps has released the final Topps Now F1 numbers. Of course, they missed card number 80, so I'm not very happy about that. That was the Max Verstappen championship card, but they have the other print runs out there. So it was like card 80 to 89 out on Topps F1 archive. They have all the print runs except for number 80. So the print runs are basically under 9,000 to about 3,300 for those 8 cards that they have of the 9 or whatever. What'd you find, Jason?
So there's one I took the first one I could find because not shockingly, most of them are graded. So the one ungraded that I found was a $400 buy it now, but a PSA 9 is around $500 and PSA 10 is upwards of $1,000. Not too bad for a $7-8 card.
Yeah, I mean, if the PSA 10's good under $1,000, I may think about getting me one of those. Who knows? But I wasn't going to pay $5,000 for a card like that back during the summer.
I mean, can you really call yourself a Hall of Famer if you don't have that one in PSA 10?
Okay, go ahead and shame me. I've been shamed. Just for that, Jason, I will go out and get me one, and I will show you guys on the screen once I have it. Okay. It may be a PSA 9, but I'll go get me one. But going back to all this, and I've said it before, and I'm on record for this. I know, back almost a year ago, 95% of the hobby, if you were to say Lewis Hamilton, they would go Lewis who? They didn't know who this guy was. Not a clue in the world. I did. We did, because we're in racing. But, to me, and here we go again. I know I'm probably going to get some grief about this too. I think this thing was hyped up just unbelievably. I just don't see these cards being worth the prices that they are. I mean, good that people are getting those prices. Kudos to you guys that are doing well with Formula One. I my hat's off to you. But I still don't understand it. Because I've been in NASCAR, ever since 88 Max came out. So I've been in this thing for the long haul, from day one. And to see these kind of prices just is absolutely mind-boggling. And it's like, like what I've heard on some other podcasts. I mean, these sports get hyped, and boy, Formula One really did get hyped, and that drove the prices way up. So, hats off to everybody that did well.
I think it was perfect storm, right? All the cards were increasing.
Yep.
Earlier in the season, and that was the only F1 available. It had, I'm going to put in air quotes, a low print run of almost 2,000. Because when you look at Panini Instant, that is a low print run of like 53. So almost 2,000 was a low print run, and things escalated quickly.
They did escalate quickly. I like Formula One, but I just, again, these prices are just, it's unreal. I mean, we've seen, 5, 6, six figures for some of these cards. I mean, it's just, who'd have thunk it?
So I guess the thing, like for me, is all right. So say I missed the boat with buying a Chrome box. So I mean, I just said it was $2,200 for a box of Chrome, and if I want to buy this year's Chrome, let's say it was $500, or I can buy the first year of the base set for $600 a box.
Or 8 boxes of 16 certified. We've already discussed.
Ding, ding, ding.
Right. So it's like, all right, well, I kind of feel that I kind of missed the boat on the F1. And
well, even at that point, at $500, you, I think, are much wiser to take that $500 and buy the handful of single cards that you want in the condition that you want, possibly graded, because we all know the grading prices right now. It's just, it's going back to the 16 PRIZM. Is it even worth buying the box to open? Because what are you going to get out of it? Most likely.
Right. So here's one. So the 2020 Topps Chrome Formula One Racing Sapphire box, $2,400 a box. So, and that's not a full box. That's like, I don't know, it's like 10, 15 packs or something. Do you buy that hoping you get the 101 or the really low printed of the Hamilton, or you just leave it sealed, right? So it's major risk, major reward, I guess.
That's true. I mean,
and that's the way I feel like the Formula One is.
Yeah. I mean, I know that our local hobby shop last summer broke a box of, I think it was Chrome, and they ended up hitting some low number Max Verstappen card that they got at the time. They got like $7,000 for, so, they did well with their box that they broke.
And so maybe that's too much risk for me. Like, when I do NASCAR, it's not that big a risk versus reward. And I guess people that are in that game, maybe the PRIZM basketball guys, the big risk, big reward, maybe they're into the F1 big risk, big reward. Because Logan, we talked about it last week that there was one of them that was a PSA 10. It was like $45,000 that sold.
Yeah, that was
1 out of 5 or something.
Max Verstappen card, I think.
Yeah, so I guess the cards are coming out of it, but I guess as a base set guy, that that I can't get into that. So
yeah, I mean, I'm old school too, like you. I'm a set collector. I want to get all the base sets. Every year. If I happen to hit a really nice card along the way, that's just a bonus for me. I the only things I go after are like Richard Petty and just a few of the cards that I really like. I don't really try to chase any of these super, super high end, low number cards.
So that's what I need. We need a F1 factory set.
Well, oh God, can you imagine if there was an F1 factory set? I'm surprised they haven't done that.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to say the exact same thing. No, I was going to say what Logan said. I'm surprised they haven't done it. It's coming. Don't worry, it's coming.
Yeah,
well, I'd be interested in one of those. So.
Yeah, I'd buy one of those if the price is right. If they treat you right on them. So, hey, I guess going back to eBay real quick, I'll just do a couple more things because I have a pretty nice little list here. But some of the other things I saw on eBay was, last week we talked about the President's Choice cards, and there was a 2021 President's Choice 2.0 race jumbo patch of Bubba Wallace. And of course, all those are 1-of-1s. And that thing went for $91 with 28 bids. So that was impressive. And that was a cool looking card.
Yeah, I think that was one we talked about on the show last week. That was one with the NASCAR logo.
Yeah, that was it.
All right.
Yeah, that was a cool looking card. Something else I saw too, and this is kind of a little bit more old school, was 2007 Press Pass Legends Marty Robbins. And of course, everybody knows who Marty Robbins is. He's a country singer who decided to go run NASCAR just because he wanted to race against Richard Petty. But they had a patch on this card of the American flag. And again, I keep saying this. I wish I could see some of these things, but there's just so much you can't see it all. This card went for $89.99. I thought that was a really good deal for a card like that because it was a beautiful card, and I think it was numbered. So kudos to whoever got that one because that was a great card. And one more thing that I saw was a 2014 Goodwin Champions autograph of Dan Gurney. Of course, Dan Gurney was a famous road racer who dabbled in NASCAR back in the 60s, and I don't know if he raced up in the 70s or not. I cannot remember.
He's on that 1970 drag strips.
Yes, so yeah, he did. I guess he was into probably in the early 70s. But anyway, that was an autographed card, and it was a raw card. It went for $148.37 with 9 bids.
Wow. That
was pretty impressive. I can remember seeing these cards, those Dan Gurney autograph cards at shows, $5 all day long. In fact, I know I've got one that I picked up because, Dan Gurney, he's a little bit of NASCAR trivia. He is the last driver to win a race in a car with 3 numbers.
Yep.
He won in the number 121 car, driving for the Wood Brothers, because they tacked on a 1 to the 21, because he had David Pearson and driving the 21. So that's just a little bit of NASCAR trivia. He's the last driver to win with a 3-digit car before NASCAR went to all 2-digit cars.
And that car photo, or the photo of the 121, is on the 1970 Fleer drag strip card.
Ding, ding. That's correct.
Yep. Actually, he would sign through the mail. And so I sent one to him, which he signed. And then I had Leonard and Glenwood sign it as well.
That is freaking awesome.
And he signed it in like silver Sharpie. So it's really cool. I need to get it authenticated, but that's one of my prize cards signed.
Yeah, I'm proud of you for that. That's, and you're a lot better at that than I am about getting cards like that autographed. I never really think about it till it's like too late.
I had seen where he, had signed, or he did sign through the mail pretty good. So, but then he was in that set. And I think I have a few of those as well, because there's a relics in there, I believe. And I think there's a base card, and then there's a signed version as well.
Yes. Yeah, because I've got some of the relics as well.
Because that's a unique signature. Cards. Yeah.
And I'll leave it with one more thing here. And of course, this is a little bit more old school as well. This is a 2002 Terry Labonte Press Pass Stealth. And it's an autographed card out of 5. It was number 2 of 5. This card, man, and this really floors me because this is a heck of a price. It went for $449.44 with 24 bids. Yeah, I see your look on your face, Val. You should see Val's face right now. When we start going to video, you'll be able to see Val's reactions. But yeah, that was very, very high price for that card out of 5. Almost $450.
What year was this?
2002.
I wonder if this is an eBay preview.
You know what? It could have. Well, I don't know. No, because they didn't do those previews. Well, maybe it was. It could have been. If they didn't say. But it is out of 5.
So it must have been somebody who has some of the other 5. Some of the guys, they like to collect all their numbering if they want all 5 or whatever.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I know I would pay a premium.
Especially if you have the other ones and you've been looking for it for all this time.
Yeah. And I guess I'll leave it with this one last card. 2021 Ty Gibbs Chronicles, number 5 of 10 gold Spectra. That's this year's card. Sold for $55.55.
Wow.
So that's this year's. That wasn't last year's Spectra, which are going to be his first ones, which will be a lot more.
I'm sorry, who was that?
Ty freaking Gibbs.
There we go.
Yeah, I said Ty Gibbs, didn't I? Dang it. But yeah, that's all I got. So one thing I have noticed on eBay though is, man, there's a ton of NASCAR cards in SGC slabs. Since PSA is not grading, I mean, of course, that's the natural thing to be happening right now. But and I'm sure that's probably the way it is in all the other sports. But I just happened to notice that, man, there's a ton of SGC cards, NASCAR cards in slabs right now.
Well, I guess, Jason, you won the over-under.
My God, I can't believe this is how much time we've taken on this episode.
It was the F1 that killed us.
Yeah, we got off on that F1 tangent and it just killed us. You're right.
Well, I guess
All
we'll
right.
close it there.
Yep.
Well, thank you everybody for listening. Please like and share the podcast. Share NASCAR Trading Cards with your friends. And from me and the guys, and thank our sponsor, Panini America. But from me and the guys, thanks for listening. We'll talk to you next week.